What's up? I'm Alex, your daily code mentor. Today I'm talking to you about Strapi.io. Honestly, my secret weapon. This is basically the tool that I've used to save the companies I work with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's the tool that I use to quickly prototype my ideas. So why am I so excited to teach you about this? First of all, Strapi is still in beta. So Strapi is basically an insider secret, and it has been for quite a while now. I've been using it for over a year, and it always over-delivered. I love this tool. That's why I want to start sharing it around. Um, at this point, I may be in the top 10 people in the world that actually has used Strapi as much as me. Uh, Half of them should be the team that develop it, and then there's a few guys on Slack that I know are extremely active. So if any of them is teaching, I would highly recommend them. Otherwise, I may be your best resource on the topic just through sheer experience. I'm also a top-rated code mentor. You can find me in the club, or you can find me on Code Mentors /Alessandro Valerani. But you may actually find me in the club in any city I come to, just because I like it. So if you need help with anything, just meet me here, codementor.io /Alessandro Valerani. That said, Strapi.io, why is it so powerful? Well, let's just get our hands dirty. We're going to type in npx create-strapi-app, as we see here. We see it in the thingy. And we're going to type the name of the app, which is going to be Strapi example. And we're going to get some magic to happen. Basically, npx is the package, is the way to execute remote packages, and it just installs Strapi for us. The install is actually fairly simple. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, so I don't want to keep you waiting on it. But basically, it's going to give us two options, the quick start and the custom. The custom is the one that you use when you deploy. The quick start is the one you use when you develop. So you might as well just press a button for quick start. It's going to install a bunch of packages. And in the meantime, I can open up another project I already have, which is, actually, I'll just open up this one because it looks like it's basically there. And some of the dependencies are being installed. Some of the plugins are going to be installed later. But that said, this is our basic project. And as you can see, first of all, Git is already there, which I like. And or I guess we can check whether we do have Git. We can do cd strapi-example and then Git in it. There we go. So now we have Git. As we can see, we have a Git ignore, a nice one. And why are we ignoring node modules and Git? Obviously, because Git and node modules. Okay, so now we have our API. Apparently, there's nothing here. Why? We'll get into that. Then we have our config. This is how you do settings. This is how you set up your cron, functions cron. That's how you set that up. Extensions, that's where you put your additional resources and plugins. And then you have your public for uploads and to show stuff to tell you to come to the admin. There's also going to be an admin page. It may actually not be available here anymore because this tool changes a lot, but it's actually completely extendable. So the reason why I love Strapi is because Strapi gives us an admin UI interface for free. It also allows us to build content types, which are basically defining database schema. It's the same thing as defining database schemas and defining API endpoints. And it allows us to do that in a matter of seconds. So imagine how more productive you will be if building an endpoint and building the database logic and building all the functionality would take seconds instead of hours. Okay? Strapi also comes with a very solid permission system. You can find that in the plugins, user, and permissions, and it's extremely, extremely solid. So it feels like this thing is not working. Probably my internet is a little slow, bear with me. So in the meantime, I'm gonna riff raff about the users and permissions. So how does it work? It works by, first of all, authentication through JavaScript. You can do it in two ways, cookies and JWT. Strapi does it with JWT, okay? So you have your JWT token, you're able to query a bunch of endpoints that are authenticated, and then you're able to define a bunch of rules to determine whether that endpoint is accessible or not. So how do we actually do that? So first of all, how do you sign up? How do you sign up? You just get your app to run. As you can see, we can do cd Strapi. Actually, it's running it already. All right, so let's just show you what happens after your first install, which is pretty cool. What happens is you're gonna see a page on localhost colon 1337, which is leet and neat as well. At leet/admin, you're going to have access to your administration panel. Now, the administration panel will remind you of WordPress. It has to. It has to remind you of WordPress, right? However, this has nothing to do with WordPress, or rather, WordPress may be getting there someday. If it gets there, that's cool. If it doesn't, this is to me, this is a more effective solution because it's built on Node.js, and it's just it's closer to the machine. It's rawer yet effective. That's why I love Strapi, because at the end of the day, if you want to build your database and endpoints, you're just writing your Mongoose schemas, you're writing queries, and then you're writing your endpoints. And basically, you get this for free. So now that the application has loaded, I can finally show you what's going on. So I can go on localhost 1337/admin. There you go. And now it's loading. And this is a screen you'll see only on the first install. It's going to ask you for your username. I'm going to do mango at tango, mango at tango. Just a random stuff. And I sign up. Okay. It's too short, whatever. And now I'm signed up. And as you can see on the left, I have a content type of users. I have a content manager, content type builder, file uploads, roles and permissions. The things we're going to look into today are going to be the content manager, rather the content type builder, and the roles and permission. Okay? So content type builder allows us to build different types. Let's say I want to build a blog. So what is a blog made of? A blog is made of articles. So I'm going to type in article. Okay? And I'm going to type it in singular, because that way it's going to turn it into plural by default. So you'll see that. And then I'm going to have a title. Just a second, I was too fast for you. So now that I created the article, I can press add a new field, and I can choose which field I want. I can have string, numbers, date. I can have a bunch of them. Groups is actually one of the newer one. You can also do it as a repeatable group, which some people love. I don't care. I can just use JSON anyway, but some people love this. And you can have rich text, you can have text, you can have a string, number, date, etc. You have to remember that the underlying database that you chose in the quick start, in this case, is going to be SQLite. But if you were to choose MongoDB, you will get your document ID and the created at and updated at by default. So you may not even need to have a date for your article. In our case, I'm going to explicitly state a date just to have one. You know, just because. So I'm gonna have a string of the title, and then I'm gonna press add another field, and then I'm gonna click on rich text, and I'm gonna add a content. This is the article's content, and then I'm gonna add a date with I guess published. I think that's good. And now I have these free pieces for an article, and then I can press on save, and it's gonna restart the server. We can open up our Atom again, and what we're gonna see is that this folder up here, API article, has been created. So this entry article inside of API has been created, and we have a bunch of stuff. The most important one, honestly, is just the routes, because everything else has been, it's basically, it comes from a default model, so you're not seeing it, but there's a bunch of very cool stuff here that is happening, which I cover in my deeper course. Because it takes a long time, but it's a really amazing stuff. You can also check it out at this URL here if you want. And basically now, after working for 2 seconds, we have access to all of these routes. Okay? So let's say I want to create an article. I can just go here, and I can just add it. So I have my UI from Strapi backend. This is the secret, and somebody once told me the world was going to roll me. Right? Obviously, we need a reference to Smash Mouth. Our Smash Mouth reference per second are too low, so we need to increase that counter. And then it's being published on the 5th of December. So now I press save, and the article is there. So I go to Postman, I type in localhost blah 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 articles, and I change it to a get, and I press send, and I get it for free, obviously. Right? I'm gonna get an unauthorized. Why? Because Strapi is safe by default. Okay? So if you create stuff, stuff gets hidden by default. Now, Strapi is not as safe as it looks. I'm gonna get into that for a minute or two, and I go deeper in my course. That said, how do we allow you to get the articles? By the way, let's create a second one just for giggles. Giggles, secret giggles, and fun, 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 and a random date. This is Chrome being annoying, I guess. Whatever. Okay, let's save. So now I have 2 articles. Now what I'm gonna do, again, because our problem is that if we do a get request on /articles, we get nothing. What can I do? Roles and permissions. Then I click on public, and I click that, and then I wait, and then I select article, and I click on find and find one, which means that now users are authorized to find articles. Okay, so I can just press on save, and then I can press on postman, and then I can press on send, and as you can see, I get access to the articles. Now, if you were to allow unauthorized people to just publish, etc., you could just add the create, the delete, and the update, right? And by the way, the conventions for Strapi are amazing. They are developer friendly. So the way the conventions work, let me create a new note here, is you have your get slash articles, it gets all the articles, right? Then you're gonna have your get slash articles slash colon ID gets the single article. Then you can have the same method but with put and with delete, and then you're gonna have your post or slash articles that creates a new one. Okay, so the conventions are very simple and very friendly. Okay, so as I was saying, if you go to roles and permissions and you click on public, you can allow anybody to create, delete, and update a document. However, that doesn't help us right now. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna show you the proper way, which is to allow people to create articles through the authenticated route. So we're gonna click on authenticated. We're going to click on find one, create, delete, and update. Okay, so that way an authenticated user can do a bunch of stuff. Okay, and I'm gonna save. As you can see, there's no users that have this role. That's because we haven't created any. So what I can do, I guess I can create it here, or I can show you how to create it properly. So this is how you're gonna have to develop. So again, I'm in the documentation. From the documentation, I scroll down to plugins, user and permission, and I click on it, and then I look for blah 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 authentication. Okay, I look for authentication. So at this point, token usage, this is how we're gonna do it. I'll show you how, don't worry about it. But this is how you register. You go to this URL, and you're gonna see my secret password. Funny enough, I'm gonna do Command T to create a new request tab. I'm gonna paste in the URL. For some reason, it didn't copy it. And then I'm gonna go to the body, raw, JSON, and I'm gonna add these 3 parameters. I'll literally copy this, by the way, so it's funny. And Postman likes to have his double quotes. Okay, no single quotes for Postman. He's a very strict individual. So let's go back to double quotes. This is gonna be the username. This is gonna be the email, and this is gonna be the password. So remove the comma. How do you sign up? You just press send to this URL, and we see that it actually didn't work. 404 not found. I'm getting a little confused. Probably I mistyped something. Ah, no, it's a post endpoint. There you go. You need to post. You can't do a get. My bad. So let's do a post. As you said, post on auth local register, username, email, and password. There you go. And now the user is created. And from confirmation, I get this JWT token. This JWT token is important. First of all, because that's me. I'll show you another thing that I really like about Strapi that is under-documented, but this is basically the secret. This is most likely why you're watching this video if you are having a hard time with Strapi. I go into stuff like this way deeper in my course because I know there's a few gotchas that take a long time to understand. This is one of them, so I'm gonna give this one for free to you. I'm just gonna press Command T to create a new tab. I'm gonna go in authorization. I'm gonna change to bearer token, and then I'm gonna paste the bearer token after removing the double quotes. Then I'm gonna go to localhost /auth /me, and I'm gonna press send. It's actually not that one, so just a second. Because as you can see, it's actually not documented, but it's actually the best endpoint ever. So let me just go to my previous app so that I can show you how I got it. There it goes, users /me, there we go. So now I go back to this code. Instead of doing auth, it's gonna be users. By having the users /me endpoint, which is enabled by default, you can use your own token to tell you who you are. Why is this important? Because that way you can tell the user who it is. They only need to keep this in their local storage or in their cookies, whatever you prefer, okay? So if I do this, and now I have this user, and I have this token, I can actually make authenticated requests. So if I wanna post the article now, I can do so by doing post http ://localhost :1337/articles. And I honestly don't remember the body, but I'm gonna set my authorization to bearer token, and this is the token, and then I go to body, row, JSON, curly brace. What data do I need to send? Honestly don't remember. So it's a title, it's a content, it's a published, okay? So I can do title, content, and publish. So since I don't want to get, I mean, technically I can just do new date. So that's what I'll do. And then content secret. And then title is even more secret. Okay. Expected U instead of E. Yeah, we got a 500 server error because published is wrong. So what we can do now is we're just gonna avoid it. And to make our code even better, we can actually go to the content type builder, because with Access you just said it, but with this one I don't want to get into that. Let's press publish, let's press the pencil. We can go in the advanced settings for the date, and we can set a default value. It would have been better if it was today, I guess, but it's not the end of the world. Additionally, I haven't checked, but most likely it already saves the date of the articles, because that makes the most sense. Yeah, there you go. So technically speaking, as I mentioned before, we don't even need this published thingy, so we're just gonna remove it, and that should be pretty good for us. There's another gotcha in how you do uploads for files, because it's most likely the other question you will have, and I go into that in a separate video. So if you're interested in any specific question that you may have, and by the way, I can create the article. As you can see, I can spam create them, okay? And then I can change this to a get request on articles, and I can get the articles back, all right? And I can get the single article just by adding the ID. And I can delete the single article by doing this. And now I can do, again, get. And the article is gone. So technically speaking, you probably would want to allow the user to delete only their own articles. We can do that with policies. It's all feasible. This will be kind of the basic setup, My advice for you is to actually build something with these specific rules. Don't go deeper now, just be able to build something right now with Strapi and use it as a way to prototype stuff, and then take my course to actually be able to use it at production level setting, because production level obviously requires more validation, requires more verification, requires the handling of input done in a proper way. It also requires you to set up policies in a way that don't leak data. And lastly, there's a few gotchas in caching API response that I want you to be aware of, and also deploying to Heroku that I want to cover. So if you're interested in basically becoming a legend at prototyping your applications, and also potentially saving hundreds of thousands of dollars of development work by using smart tools that basically make you insanely effective, then Strapi is your tool. You can check it out at strapi.io. If you like this video, put a like. If you have any question, put a comment, or if you just want to wish me a good day, put a comment as well. It helps. Thank you so much for watching this. Have an amazing day.